Good morning, it is June 16th, 2012, and this is Messianic Minute. Today, point and counterpoint. President Obama announced yesterday from the Rose Garden at the White House a new immigration policy, a radical shift in American policy. Was it a good thing? Was it a bad thing? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's obviously a political move to get Hispanic voters, but I think personally it was a bad decision.
Okay, you say it's a bad decision, but at the same time, our country was founded upon immigration, right? Not necessarily legal immigration. For hundreds of years, people have been coming into our country, and it makes America have the flavor it has today, socially. So what's wrong with that?
Well, because unlike all the other nations and all the other countries, people seem to think that when you come over to America that you have free game. You can still be, a German, live as a German, but still live in America. And we don't have, our Congress people have yet to establish guidelines that when you're in America, there are certain things to live by. And one of them is that you, either you're here just to visit, or if you're here to work, you get a work permit. Or if not, then you become a citizen of the United States. The one reason to become a citizen is to get the benefits of being a citizen. But people seem to think that when immigration means that there's no guidelines or rules, or there's nothing to establish itself as a nation.
So you believe that if you come to this country, you need to become a citizen?
I believe if you plan to call yourself an American and you come to this country for settling down and raising your families and getting jobs, and then you need to become a citizen.
Okay, I wonder if anybody told that to the first settlers 400 years ago who came to America and stole the land from the Native Americans.
Yeah, but we have already admitted and established fault for that, and we've already established things to sort of, I don't know if you can ever repay because you can't take life back from the dead, but we've already established that we were wrong in doing that. And also, we're not establishing a new nation. We've already been settled. You also have to think of the history of the settlement. They were here for freedom, so they could do whatever they wanted.
And these new people coming in are not coming for freedom?
No, they're coming for, I don't know. I don't know them specifically why they're coming here. Maybe they are. Maybe they are. But that doesn't give them, I think that's the whole reason why the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and all that was established, so that we would have one governing rule, or something that would govern us by, that we're not just that was why the 13 colonies wanted to become united, becoming the United States, so that we would not all be doing our own thing and it would all be chaos.
But these people that are coming in, and certainly we see this reflected in the White House policy yesterday, want to become Americans. They're not coming here to set up little, whatever indigenous countries from which they're coming. They're coming to be Americans. They're hardworking. They contribute to society. And his policy states that if you're between the age of 15 and 30, then you can stay in America. Now, he's not granting, as the president said in his speech, automatic citizenship. He's not granting amnesty or immunity. He's just granting them a chance to live out a dream.
Well,
What's wrong with that?
I'm not against a chance to live out a dream, but there are two issues. One, I feel like this is sort of like he's going around the main issue of his presidency. He's not helping Americans. He's totally oblivious to the way the economy is and the way that things are in the normal lives of every person trying to work and struggle and get through jobs and just trying to afford to live. And two, it's not about them not having a right. Everyone has a right to come over here. Everyone has a right to live their dream. Everyone has a right. But when they come over here, when they are brought over here by their parents, and of course they're not given choices.
You mean these young people?
Why are they, well, one, why are they not encouraged to become citizens through schools? Now, he's saying in the news, they're saying they're kids that have gone to school, graduated, getting jobs. Why are their schools not integrating citizenship classes? Why are they not in this, whatever Obama is saying here? Why is it not made, a stipulation that they, within the next so many years, either become a citizen or, go back?
I don't think these people are against citizenship, and by these people, I mean the folks that are here illegally. I believe they want citizenship. They want the chance to prove that they can do it, that they can support this country and make a better life for themselves and their family. And you want to rob them from this by not allowing them the freedom to stay. You want to have an 18-year-old kid who is not a citizen, by no fault of his own, because his parents dragged him here to this country when he was 13 or 14 or 15. He's worked hard, he's done well in school, maybe he started the military, graduated high school, or maybe even college, and you want to send him back to our country where there is no future? He might not even speak the language there. You don't think?
Well, I think that you have to think of it this way, and it's not just, it's not just, it's all people. It's not just Mexicans or, it's anyone coming, so I just want to make that clear. But because, okay, so my child grows up and goes to college and, struggles with getting a job and, has the same challenges as an illegal immigrant, they have no place to run to. They can't go back to, Portugal or,
do you think they want to run back to their other countries?
I don't think so, but I think the main thing is that the president is doing it only for votes, and I think that the issue of freedom is the reason why we created the laws we have created, is so that our freedoms, theirs included when they're over here, can be protected. Now, if they're not a citizen and, they can be afforded all the benefits of an American without that price of citizenship, then why should any of us be a citizen? What is that benefit? And I think the benefit is that we're a united states and that we are no longer, many countries, colonizing, that we're united. And so what I would like them to do is if they want to speak that they love this country and they want to work and love this country and they want to show it, then why can't they show themselves by doing the citizenship?
They can't, because according to the policy that you want to support, that goes against what the president announced yesterday, they're going to be deported before they get the chance to become citizens.
They have gone to high schools. A lot of these kids have graduated already. So why is it, if it's so important, if this immigration policy is so important to the president and to the administration, then why did they not look back and say, okay, 4 years ago, and say, okay, so these young kids are going to be graduating high school, and so why don't we put that in the school policy to where they have to do 1 hour a day of citizenship class.
Maybe that's something that could happen, but until that gets implemented, what do you do with the hundreds of thousands of young people aged 15 to 30 who are affected by this policy? Do you just kick them out because they happen to be illegal by no fault of their own?
What if you gave them 6 months to take the citizenship class?
It takes a lot longer than that to become a citizen.
Well, they have to prove that they're actually in the class and doing good. Why don't they say, okay, you've graduated and you've done this and this and this, part of your college education is a requirement to take 2 years of the citizenship and pass the test. If you do not do that, and if you do not show proof, of course, we say that with everything we do in the government. If you don't do this and show proof, and then no one really follows up. But if you show proof that you're in that class and you're willing to do that, then you'll stay. You'll get a temporary visa or whatever. But why can't we encourage them instead of just letting it be free? Oh, you can do whatever you want now, as long as you don't break the rules, But even that, if you don't get in trouble or if you don't, whatever, well, it doesn't make sense to me, because you're sitting there saying that you can stay. You're breaking a right of an American a right of America by becoming a citizen. You're breaking that rule, and by letting them just stay, without any kind of, forward motion of becoming a citizen. But then you're saying don't break the law.
These are people,
well, aren't you breaking?
These are people who have already established themselves in our society. They are working, they are producing. Some have served in the military. Some have died to defend this country, all without the benefits of being a citizen because of a broken immigration system.
Well,
now you want to deny a bold step from our president.
Yeah.
And rob them further of this opportunity when they have shown abundantly that this is their home.
Well, I don't take the military service all that well because anyone from any nation can be in the U.S. military. So that does not establish citizenship or did not,
But it should.
No, it doesn't.
It should, because they're willing to die for this country. A country that is not their motherland.
Americans go overseas and join other countries. The Israeli army. A lot of Americans go over there. A lot of people in the military are from other countries, but that does not indicate to them does not establish them as a basis for that they love this country. They may have died for our nation, and thank you. But and I'm not saying they don't deserve that right. But it does not, to me, it doesn't establish that they're
It absolutely establishes it because they're willing. Yes, it does because they're willing to die for a country from which they were not born. They're willing to die and suffer, and in military service, as we well know, it's a difficult thing. Absolutely, regardless of your job in the military. And to take that burden on personally, and to take that burden on voluntarily, and to be willing to travel all over the world in the name of the United States under this flag, the same flag, by the way, whose government will not grant these people the ability to become citizens, I think is a historic tragedy.
I think you're wrong because I think it's a job.
Oh, it's so much more than a job.
I think that people will sign up for the military just so that they have that paycheck, the college, paid for. But the minute they get out, or even if they do stay, where does the money go back? It goes back home. It goes back to wherever. Or they don't even stay. They go back to their.
I don't know if the hopes and dreams of a generation of young people who are trying to make a better future, a future better than their parents had or their parents had, can be reduced to the almighty dollar. Which, however, is how conservatives,
are you kidding?
Like yourself, usually look at this, right? You right-wingers think that everything comes down to the money, the buck, where in reality we know it comes down to human lives.
Human lives. You want to talk human lives? I don't want to even go there.
All right, so the president's new policy, yes or no? Second thing that happened yesterday when President Obama announced his new immigration policy from the Rose Garden is he was heckled aggressively by a right-wing conservative reporter.
And the answer to your question, sir, and the next time I'd prefer you let me finish my statements before you ask that question, is this is the right thing to do for the American people. Baby, I didn't ask for an argument. I'm answering your question.
Would that have happened to a white president? I don't know. What do you think?
I think that when we get to an issue that we don't, that we're trying not to, I think that we always put race in it.
Race is a factor.
We cannot ask a question without somebody saying, was he black or white? Is he right-winged or left-wing? Is he conservative or Democrat?
Do you know why it becomes that way? Because conservatives have historically been more aggressive, more impatient with the policies that matter to people than any other social group.
Well, that's because we're frustrated at you guys.
Well, you may be frustrated, but there are better ways to express it than heckling a historic president who's trying to make a historic decision on a difficult policy.
No, what he's trying to do, and we've already discussed this in our earlier thing, is he's trying to go around the real issue. And the real issue is why are not both parties asking the same question? Hey, you're making this decision, but you're not stopping to answer questions, so he's not accountable to anybody.
It wasn't a question and answer session. It was just an informative presentation.
So
this is our new policy. This is what we're doing. He's not taking questions at the time. And disrespectfully, the man who, tried to force himself upon the president was not just disrespecting a black man, he was disrespecting the office of the presidency of the United States.
Well, no, I don't think it's a. I think Obama did it the cowardly way.
Cowardly way?
Yes. All he did was say, "This is a statement."
The first man who's willing to run for president despite his color, and we all know the historic prejudice.
Now, see, you're putting color in it.
But
You're
because
putting color in
is
it.
an issue.
No.
Yes, it is.
No,
yes,
it is the value of the
Because
man. The
colored
value
people
of
in this
the man.
country have always been at a disadvantage. For 500 years they've been at a disadvantage. And finally, here we have a man who has the courage and fortitude to say, you know what? Despite my color and despite historic perceptions from the United States, I am going to do this. I'm going to go to the White House and I'm going to make a difference. And
Well,
you're trying to rob this man of that opportunity and call him a weak, when in reality he's probably one of the strongest executives we've ever had.
You're living in America, right?
I'm living in America. Apparently you're not.
First of all,
Maybe you're living in 1950s America. I'm living in the 21st century.
First of all, it isn't about what color his skin is.
That is always an issue.
No,
Yes,
for
it
me,
is.
I'm
Yes, it
talking
is.
on my point of view, my
But
opinion.
I think it's an important issue,
No,
a
it
positive
is not,
issue.
because
President
because
Obama is the
anyone-
first African American president,
Alright.
and that is an achievement.
anyone who opposes him is automatically going to be assumed as a racist or against his color.
Only insecure bigots think that way.
No, and
Yes.
I didn't say anything about his color. What I said is that he used the weak way to announce his policy instead of standing there and because I don't even think he believes what he did was right because
Absolutely he believes it.
would sit there and answer those questions.
No,
because somebody has got to ask those questions and somebody has got to be able to stand up and say, hey, wait a minute, you're sitting there a week ago saying, or I don't know how long ago it was, that the economy is okay, and everyone's sitting there laughing at him because the economy is not okay.
He did not say the economy was okay. That's not what he said. He said the private sector is doing fine.
But it's not doing fine because the private
Compared
sector...
to how it was before he got elected with the mess we inherited from the Bush administration,
Well,
I think the private sector is doing pretty
You
good.
want to talk about the unemployment rate,
Okay.
but...
Do you know how long it took President Bush to make that mess? 8 years. Now you want this man, this pioneer of a president, to fix this problem in 3.5? That doesn't make sense.
Fix the problem. He hasn't even started. He's made all these campaign promises that he's like totally not done.
But we
And
digress.
secondly-
Back to this guy in the Rose Garden.
First of all,
Heavenly president.
it isn't an issue on color. But
I think color's always involved.
But why is he automatically assumed to be a conservative? And secondly, why is
You
it?
mean the reporter guy who's that called president? He is. He's from the conservative right-wing.
Well, yeah, but I mean, the news, they identify him not as his name, not as a reporter. They say a conservative.
Do you want to know why that is?
Right-wing.
Do you want to know why? Because he
Because
represents the aggressive stance that conservatives have always taken against progress.
Why is it that the left wings can ask questions and on CNN you see these, in-depth stories of all these political corruption and all the things that the Republicans and the conservatives are doing. But once a Republican or a conservative asks a question, we're angry and bitter.
Do you want to know why?
We don't. Well, you know what I want to say is, okay, Ben.
Do you want to know why that is?
No.
Because we're right.
I never heard such silliness. You're not right. First of all,
I know what we wouldn't do. We would not interrupt a historic president making a historic speech about a national change in policy and show profound, crippling disrespect to his office. That we wouldn't do.
No, I think that, one, that you guys just can't stand the fact that we were better than you guys. No. It is
Cut that part out. All right, so this guy in the Rose Garden, was he right or wrong in what he did?
He was right.
Okay, I think he was right for wanting answers to these questions, but I think he did it in a wrong manner.
The heckler has a right. He paid his taxes, hopefully, unlike his cabinet. He has a right to ask these questions, and he has a right not to be labeled, just like Obama doesn't have a right to be labeled. Just because he's black, or just because he's this, or just because he's that, doesn't be labeled. He's the president. He should be like, okay, why is the president saying this? You know, it's not about, it's about the integrity of the man and not what the show
I
looks
don't
like.
know.
Because you're
This is
you're
not a
sitting there.
microcosm into the morality of President Obama.
It
This
is,
just,
it
no,
is,
it's not.
because
This is just a
as-
policy shift to give more opportunity to more people to live the American dream.
Who's living the American dream? It's a high upper class. The lower class and the middle class being squeezed out. The lower class don't have even an opportunity
So if you want
unless
to
they
live
rely
that
on the
dream,
government.
if you want to live that dream and be high upper class, then work for it. We live in a country where you can pull yourself up by your bootstraps and become that upper class and live that dream if you want to. One of the few countries in the world where you can do that, and you want to deny this to hundreds of thousands of young people. Thank you for joining us today for Messianic Minute, Point, and Counterpoint. We'll be doing more of these as important issues of modern relevance continue to evolve. So, God bless you, good Shabbos from
Vicky?
and Troy, Shalom.
Shalom.